Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So lovely to be with you. And so it feels appropriate to start this Shabbat service with the words of Hine Matov, how good and pleasant it is for all of us to be here together. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Tonight we continue with the lighting of our Shabbat candles, and I invite you to grab your candles to light them along with me. Symbol of light, of illumination, as we begin this sacred day. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with your commandments and has commanded us to kindle the Sabbath light. As we take in the beauty of these candles, we turn as well to our symbol of joy, which is in our cup of grape juice or wine. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, v'ahavahu v'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikomim v'shabbat kodshecha v'hava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai nekadesh hashabbat l'chaim. So you might have noticed it's just me tonight, and understandably, I know we're all thinking about our beloved cantor and his family as he mourns for the death of his mother. And so we here today will certainly be thinking of him and sending love and support to the entire Davidson family. And we have the opportunity to still bring in the joy of Shabbat and to be here with one another. We're going to sing a few Shabbat songs, just getting ourselves ready for this sacred day. And as we do, I want to invite everyone here, take a minute, write a Shabbat greeting to someone in the community, maybe someone you know really, really well, maybe someone you really don't know as well. wish them a Shabbat Shalom, because when we are here together as community, I think that's where we create a truly sacred place. And we welcome in the Sabbath bride just as we have been welcoming one another with the words of Lecha Dodi, beloved, come to meet the bride. La 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 Lecha Dodi, la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad Hishmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad V'shemo tiferet Velitila, ya la la, ya la 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 dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela, bo'ite shalom. Ateret bala, gam b'simcha ubzola, toch emunei am zegula, bo'y kala, ya la la. Ya la 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 Lecha Dodi, ya la 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 likrat kala, ya la 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 Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hold on just 1 second. I think my computer is overheating, and so bear with me as I try to get it under control so that it doesn't go out on us. Okay, I think that's a little better, I hope. Okay, so let us wish one another an entree into this service with the prayer of the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yala-lai-lai-lai, 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 Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Yalla lai lai lai. Turn to the words of Mariv Aravim, these prayers related to the beauty of creation. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach sha'arim, uvitzvuna meshane itim, u'machalith et hazmanim, u'mesader et hakochavim b'mishmeratehem, b'rakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or, amavir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla Adonai tzebaot shemo, al chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Praised are you, God, who loves your people Israel. The words of the Shema are so important and central to our tradition. In fact, this past week, I was teaching a class on Taste of Judaism, where we had about 50 people in attendance, some from different parts of the world. Some of you know because some of you were there. And one person spoke up and said that the words of the Shema struck her soul in a way that nothing else did, because it teaches us to listen, to hear. Hear, O Israel, hear our people. Adonai is our God. Adonai is one, bringing us all together. So as we sing the words of the Shema, I'm going to, as I have been for the past several weeks, offering these words in sign language as well. The sign language, as you know, sign language doesn't completely match up because it's ASL, it's American Sign Language to Hebrew. The person who came up with this particular sign language to the Shema is someone who is hard of hearing. And he, based on his interpretations as a rabbi and also his experience as someone who uses sign language, he very thoughtfully created these symbols. And so I want to teach to you exactly what it is before we sing it. So when we say Shema, what we're really saying is pay attention. And so the Shema begins with pay attention. Yisrael, that's how you say Yisrael, like this. But we go together because it's about community coming together. So it's Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu is our God. Adonai, which is all around us, is one. And I invite you to join with me in song. Can't see my video? I'm hoping people can start to hear it. Oh, my picture is frozen. Okay, it's going to be hard for you to follow along with the sign language if my picture is frozen. Sorry, I think because it's so hot in my house, the computer is freezing a little bit.
Your screen is completely dark.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, that is a shame, but you can hear me fine.
We do.
Okay, so then we will skip the Shema in sign language because that would be a little difficult right now, but I promise I'll do it another week when my computer is not overheating.
Rabbi, I'm fluent in sign language. I could try to do it.
That would be awesome.
I don't know if
Wonderful.
I could.
The ASL.
I don't know if I could do it exactly how you were gonna. Oh wait, I can see you now.
You can see me?
Yeah.
Yes, you're back.
Okay, we will try. Hopefully it will stay this way. I have a cooler on my computer right now, so I'm hoping it will work. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Sorry, I know I froze again. It was a valiant effort, but I promise we will find another time where we'll be able to do that and I'll be able to show you. This is the challenges of COVID times. Man plans and God laughs. But the most important thing is we're here together in prayer and in community. And so let's continue with the words of the V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanacha v'dibarta b'ham v'shiftecha b'veitecha uvlavtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ug'shartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha Leman tizkeru v'asitav et kol mitzvotam. Item kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem l'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o seifele, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. The Hashkivenu prayer is a prayer we say at night, one of comfort and one of love for us and for all who are in need of such blessings. We call to God to shield and protect us under the shadow of God's wings. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu leShalom, V'ha'amidenu Shomrenu lechaim, Ufros aleinu Sukat shlomecha, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu leShalom. We turn to the Vishamru prayer for Shabbat, grateful for the sacred day, even if computers don't necessarily work the way we want them to. We are grateful for just the ability to pray together and to celebrate the sacredness of this day. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael. We turn to the Amidah, and whether you rise in body or in spirit, we offer these words. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi agitei hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'emoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasei Avot V'Yamahot, U'Mevi Geulah Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yava, Melech Uzer Hu Mashiach Hu Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atarav Le'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Marit HaGashem, Marit HaTah, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Zomach Noflim Berofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mechayehim אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, בנאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who strive to be holy declare your glory day by day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, Adonai, Rock and Redeemer. Yehiyu liratzon imrei fi vehegyon libi lefanecha Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Vegoali, Vegoali. Can everyone hear me? Yes? Okay. I got an error on my computer saying my speaker wasn't working, and I just got very nervous that now that was going out too. This is definitely an example of man plans and God laughs over here, but I'm glad that you can hear me even if you can't see me the entire time. So I want to offer you some words of Torah. Rabbi Elazar was riding on a donkey on his way back from a particularly illuminating Torah study. He was mentally reviewing his new learnings when he came across a man the Talmud describes as an Adam Echad Shahaya Mechar B'Yotzer, a man who was exceedingly ugly. "Greetings, Rabbi," the man said. But Rabbi Eliezer merely scoffed at him, saying, "Reka, worthless. How ugly is this man? Are all the people of your city as ugly as you?" With his harsh words and quick judgments, a haughty Elazar judged this man based on outward appearances. Haughty with his accomplishments, Rabbi Eliezer was quick to determine that this man was not worthy of dignity or respect, that he was rekah, worthless. The man looked at him and replied, I don't know, but maybe you should go and say to the craftsman who made me, how ugly is this vessel that you made? Rabbi Elazar stopped, his mouth agape, and recognized what he had just done. Not only had he failed to recognize the sacredness of every human being, but he equated the man's outer appearance with his inner worth. Rabbi Elazar literally gets off his high horse and prostrates himself before the man, begging for forgiveness. Rabbi Elazar held a notion of what a respectable human being looked like, and somehow this man hadn't made the cut. This week's Torah portion makes a similar unfortunate distinction when it explains that no priest is qualified to make a sacrifice to God if he has a defect of any kind. The text goes on to explain that no man who is blind or handicapped, with a limb too short or too long, no man with a broken leg or arm, no one who has a hunchback, is a dwarf, or has a growth in his eye can offer a sacrifice. No man with a boil scar or scurvy or other injuries is allowed to do this holy task, even if he is learned, dedicated, and capable. His appearance disqualifies him. Like Rabbi Elazar, this portion diminishes the worth of a human being based on appearance alone. It sets up standards of beauty which are at times as unattainable as they are harmful. Why must outward appearance be connected to one's ability to serve? Why would it matter one iota what a priest looked like? And yet we know from our own experience that appearance matters, that those deemed beautiful are more likely to be hired for jobs and to be treated with respect. While the priest's bodily perfection may no longer be a Jewish necessity, explains Shulamit Radars. The idea of the expectation of bodily perfection have become a cultural goal of the wider American Jewish population with terrible consequences, particularly for women, regardless of age. This idea of bodily perfection may originate from texts like this one, but it has repercussions far beyond it. It sends a message that unless you meet the societal idea of beauty, you are not worthy of dignity and respect. It's a message we know all too well because it bombards us every day in social media, in commercials, in the critiques we hear about public figures. Every year, thousands of people wrestle with anorexia and bulimia, striving to achieve the perfect body, obsessing over every calorie that enters their bodies, every bit of fat on their bones, depriving themselves of nutrients to the point of organ damage and even death. Every year, people sign up for plastic surgeries, not because they need them, but because they are not beautiful enough without it. During the pandemic, as people stared at themselves on Zoom screens, there was an uptick in people signing up for surgeries as they recognized what they felt were bodily flaws that they needed to correct. Marketing campaigns for everything from diet products to mascara send the message that we are not good enough as we are, that we need their products if we want to be worthy, if we want to be loved and respected. They send the message that without attaining a perfect appearance, we are rekah, worthless. Nothing could be further from the truth. The Torah goes out of the way to tell us that we are derived from one human being in order to show us that no one person is more sacred than another. The Torah tells us that we were all created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Of course we are beautiful just as we are, because we are the reflection of the Holy One. We are good enough, more than good enough, just the way we are. This idea derives from the notion, or our Torah portion here, seems to put forth a notion that there is such a thing as bodily perfection, a concept presented in Amor, says Shulamit Reinhardt. She points out that many people in the Torah, especially women, are characterized by their beauty, sometimes before we learn anything else about them. We are told that Rebecca is a Tovat Mar'eh, exceptionally beautiful, that Sarah and Esther have a beautiful appearance. In the same verse, we learn that Rachel is shapely and beautiful, whereas the less important Leah has weak eyes. We can do better. A few years ago, a family called the Goulds were driving their 12-year-old daughter, Aviva, back from camp. They were having a conversation about which family members were particularly hairy when Aviva spoke up saying, "Why would you want to talk about that? There are such better things to talk about than someone's looks." Aviva explained that the camp she had attended had a no body rule. Rather than physical appearances, campers complimented one another with statements like, "Your soul shines," or "I feel so happy to be around you," or "Your smile lights up the world." For many campers, this was a welcome break from the constant messages of bodily perfection thrown at them. As one camper noted, it made her feel that people like me for who I am and not what I look like. And people actually pay attention to the sort of person I am. "Your dress isn't really you," she said. "It's just something that you bought. But whether you're a good friend, now that's truly you." There are downsides, of course, to the no body rule. Body image is something that people struggle with, and it's important that there are outlets to discuss it. Talking about one's body also enables important conversations about race, diversity, and inclusion that are paramount. The power of the body rule lies not in its insistence that we not talk about physical appearance, but rather in its emphasis on seeing one another's entire being. How often, after all, do we tell someone that their soul shines, or that a friend's smile lights up the room? As Rabbi Elazar learned, there is no such thing as a perfect physical body, as a perfect physical beauty. No weight or body type or imperfections make us any less than the sacred, stunning blessings that we are. All of us, in the end, want to know that we are loved and appreciated, supported and valued. We don't need to get surgery or lose weight for any of those things. Let us focus less on aiming for bodily perfection and instead put our energy into making those around us feel like the blessings they truly are. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. Right now, as we prepare to move to our Mishaberach prayer, I want to invite everyone to put into the chat the name of anyone who is in need of healing, healing of mind, healing of body, or healing of spirit. No, we're thinking about everyone in the email list. Tara Swall, Logan Putnam, Ronnie Silverstone, Francine Wixon and Lois Jackman, Leigh Salim, Steve Skoll, Josie Giannetto, Sandra and Jimmy Newman, Summer Hernandez, Rick Ziddensfield, Sam Morris, James Jack, thinking about Rebecca Rothstein and Melissa Polk, Joy Licht and Clarence Evans, Merrill Cranebach and Steve Schwartz, Linda Swag, Janice Torres, Judah Rosen, Joanne Lanson, Stan Davis, the McMahon family, the Davidson family, Daniel, Sunny Felberg, Susie Felberg, Davidson family, Evan Forden, Leanne Irwin, Josh Montgomery, Erwin Scher, Donnie Platts. For everyone who was hurt during the unfortunate stampede that took place in Israel yesterday, Marcia, Anthony, and Stella, Cynthia Wagner, and everyone else who is on our minds, let us come together and offer these words of the Mishaberach in hopes that they find a complete and speedy healing. Mishaberach Avotenu help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebera imotenu mekor habracha lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were, in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo within our thoughts and words. And what they did is part of what we have become. We do our best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world, and each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, and whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. Today, we are mourning for the recent loss of Tamar Davidson and Bob Kleinberg. We're also in the period of Shloshim remembering Mark Norwalk and Jeff Frankel. There are many people whose yahrzeits also fall this week. Harry Alexander, Richard Bruce Astor, Francis Berman, Sharon Beyer, Abraham Binstein, Jesse Blatt, Jacob Broad, Irma Bush, Ruth Cohen, Jacob Cook, Fanny DeMoff, Winnie Easton Jones, Molly Epstein, David Eula, Mimi Farone, Lillian Fine, Paul Michael Fenton, Smila Fisher Landau, Lou Fishman, Matilda Frank, Mary Friedman, Barbara Friend, Mark Galper, Fanny Gerber, Lillian Glatter, Doris Goldenberg, Rabbi Eugene Gottesman, Rose Goldman Kaiser, Barbara Cantor, Al Kornbluff, Helen McKnight, David Miller, Joseph Newman, Esta Okensberg, Marilyn Ortner, Sadie Pilchick, Alex Pollack, Marvin Press, Michael Resin, Ann Resnick, Sadie Richards, Muriel Rubenfeld, Louis Sabin, Joel Sarner, Joel Staten, Harry Sachs, Donald Sayers, Sally Slechter, Mona Shabbat, Ellis Shafton, Miska Shinkman, Anna Schulman, Peggy Sloves, Marcia Euler, Bernard Wasserman, Gail Wiener, David Weiner, Marion Zarki, and Lois Zinger. In memory of all of the people whose names we've said out loud and all those who we keep silently in our hearts, let us offer these words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'amad divrach heroteh ve'amlich malchuteh, v'chayachon v'yomachon, v'chayeh dekol beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yanaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha barichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. V'amiram ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zikronam livracha. May all of their memories be a blessing. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. I want to thank all of you so much for bearing with the technological kind of glitches here and there that this heat sometimes brings, and just for being present in sacred community for Shabbat. I want to thank Linda Herman for being our greeter this evening, and for Marla Schwartz for offering our announcements. And I'd love to turn it over to you, Marla.
Thank you, Rabbi Cassie. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's my privilege, my pleasure to be able to represent your board of directors this evening at our Shabbat service. I first want to thank you, Rabbi Cassie, for teaching us again and more about what's so really, I guess, so very important, that each of us matters, that each of us has value. And probably what makes Temple Bethel so special is taking that which we learn from you and to remember to be helpful to one another, to be accepting of one another, and to take that extra step. So thank you for the teaching tonight. It was really special. It was challenging and it was meaningful. For all of you, we start off Shabbat with this marvelous service, but you can continue to celebrate Shabbat in the morning with a healing service at 10 o'clock. You can do some meditation practice at 5 o'clock with Pam Tarlow. And then the evening, you can end Shabbat with Havdalah so that we can begin a new and very important week. You can also, I forgot what you could do even before the healing service. You could count the Omer at 8:30. That's on Facebook. There's no Zoom for that. Everything else is Zoom. And please check your email from today to find that out. And not only can you count the Omer tomorrow morning, you can do it for many mornings after that as well, always at 8:30 on Facebook. And if you miss it, it's nice that it's on Facebook because you can go back to it and you won't be behind in your counting. You can always catch up. It's easy to do. Please know that we have to cancel the Artist Beit Midrash this Sunday, and you can understand why. Cantor Ilan is a big part of that, and his availability is minimal. So please understand, it'll get rescheduled, not to worry. You all can find out even more about what's going on. You received electronically the May Kol Beit El today. I hope that you'll enjoy it and you'll take a look at that. I hope that you'll participate some more before it's over. The Torah School fundraiser, we're all enjoying our T-shirts and our sweatshirts and with our hoodies. Tom Rosenberg loves his hoodie, Temple Bethel sweatshirt. There, look at him, thumbs up. Oh, Natasha too, okay. So please go ahead and make those purchases. All that money, or the whatever, the amount of money goes to our Torah School. Please know that we still have wonderful opportunities to take care of ourselves, nurture our spirit by participating in contemplation sound healing with Chaplain Bonnie Leopold. And of course, mark your calendars for May 20th. That's a Mensch Club event. And everybody's a Mensch at Temple Bethel. So we're all invited to attend that. Again, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Marla, for those announcements. And I hope that everyone will choose to hang around as we go into our breakout rooms. You can grab your dinner, you can bring it a snack, whatever it is. It is Oneg Shabbat after all. So I'm going to start breakout rooms. And the other thing is there is an option to go to a room of your choosing. So if there's a friend who you really, really want to be in a breakout room with, if you click on the breakout room button at the bottom, you can actually find your friend and join the room that they are in. Okay, so just give me 1 second as I set this up. And I hope that everyone has a wonderful Oneg Shabbat.